Good morning. This is Matthew Bradshaw, future President of the United States of America. Yes, I just got up. Well, I got up about half an hour ago, but either way, I have made a decision. It's a very difficult decision, but I have made this decision. It's kind of hard, but I've made this decision. Okay, here goes. I believe that when I leave here, that there's a high potential for me to be walking out of here with pretty much nothing but what I can carry with my truck. I'm planning on selling everything that we own, except for stuff that I want to take with us. You know, like this, the iPad, like the TV, the PS3, you know, our computers, printers, you know, things like that, refrigerators. Okay, those kind of things we're not going to sell. But everything else, the house, I want to get rid of the extra cars. I want to get rid of everything. I'm even willing to sell some of my tools, not all of them, because I'm going to take the majority of them with me so that I can set up a shop and help the church do ministry. Because I've got, you know, some mobile equipment, and I want to get some more mobile equipment, you know, like table saws. I've got mobile miter saws and things like that. That way, that you know, whenever there's a disaster like there is right now in Kentucky, actually. You know, I bet that church is actually might even be coming this way to help. I mean, they helped so much in their own area. And people from Kentucky came up there to help. So I would imagine the same would be going on. So what I want to do is I want to take my tools with me so that I can use them to help out the ministry. And, of course, if the church needs anything built or repaired, you know, I'm planning on serving them and being their repair guy. Now, here's the choice I made that's a hard choice. My wife said she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to walk by faith, which is what this is going to be. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory, oh, she don't want to walk by faith. Oh, she don't want to walk by faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say it like that. I'm saying she's not ready to. You know, and I realized something. I've always pretty much just dragged her along, you know, in my walk with God. Just dragged her. You know, it's like, you're coming whether you want to come or not, because I'm going to obey God whether you want to choose it or not. And, you know, I don't know if that's right or not, but it's probably not. So I've chosen not to do that this time. I'm going to let her go into God's hands, since she doesn't want to go. And she told me to leave. She said, just leave. Just go. Go do whatever you want to do. So it ain't so much me doing what I want to do as I know what God's called me to do. I have no question in my mind. The only doubts I have are doubts in myself of whether or not I can persevere for the next 8 years to the White House. I mean, most people don't even have a 5-year plan. I've got an 8-year, potentially 16-year plan that is being developed. I mean, that's crazy to think that I can expect the next 16 years of my life to go towards this, and then after that, I don't know what's next. But I'm going. I'm going to go. I'm going to use the rest of this month to clean up the house and get all this junk out of here. You know, I was working at Zappos, still technically am. But, and I asked Faith, I said, look, I need you cleaning every day, getting us closer to getting out of here so I can work. Well, she didn't want to do that. So I'm quitting my job so that I can get this house cleaned up, emptied out, so that I can sell it, so that I can move to Virginia. However, if it doesn't sell, or if she doesn't go with me, and she said she wasn't going to go, then I guess the house will have to stay here for a while. But I'm still going to put it up for sale, and when it sells, I'm going to sell it. And then I guess Faith can either find an apartment or hopefully come live with me. That would be the ideal thing, for her to come to Virginia with me. But so I know some of this is hard for people to hear, and they're like, oh, you shouldn't do that, family first. Well, I don't agree family first. I never have agreed family first. It's supposed to be God first. I can show you that over and over in the Bible. I can show you, starting with the Ten Commandments. Not sure another gods before me. Nothing should be before God. Then in the New Testament it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Okay? Family is not first. God is first. So obeying God. Abraham was called to leave his family. Abraham was called to choose God over his family. When God asked him to sacrifice Isaac, God was saying, choose me over your son. And he did. And he didn't lose his son. So I'm sort of going at this also with the faith that if I let her go, because I've been trying to convince her to make what I consider the right choice, which is to follow God. But I'm not going to do that no more. Now her choices are her choices. Okay, she's got to do what she's got to do. And I'm just believing that God is going to get a hold of her, and in His timing, she's going to be with me. But there's not going to be any more fighting. I'm not going to be walking with her and her want to fight the whole way and go in the other direction. The Bible, Proverbs, talks about it over and over. Have two oxen or whatever aren't going the same way, they're not yoked together, going in the same direction, it accomplishes nothing. Well, I'm tired of accomplishing nothing, and I know what I have to do, and I know the timeline that I'm on. And if she doesn't want to go, I'm not going to make her. And I'm going to go. And my plan right now is, well, I just went and looked for transmissions for this car that I need to fix. But my plan, if I can find a transmission, is to fix that little car, drive down there, get some kind of job, working Papa John's or something, go to school, work Papa John's, sleep in my car. Go to school, work Papa John's, sleep in my car. Probably just, take showers at truck stops or something like that. But I've got to go. And I really believe I'm going to go down there and God's going to open an opportunity to get this house. Or I'm going to have this house sold by the end of this month, and I'll have maybe some down payment money to put on the house. Which then maybe faith will just say, hey, okay, now I'll go. Maybe, walk by faith, not by sight. Well, maybe she's just going to have to walk by sight. I don't know. God knows what she needs. And I haven't been doing a good job of helping her because I just get aggravated. So I just said, look, Lord, it's up to you. She's in your hands. I'm going to go and I'm going to obey you like Abraham did. I'm just going to go and I'm willing right now to give them up. And I hope and I believe that I'm actually not giving them up, that I'm simply letting go and letting God. Because my heart is not to not have my family. By no means. I love my family. But my heart is also to obey God. And anything that's holding that back, I have to let go of. And Faith's choices, whatever's stopping her from seeking God and finding God, whatever the mental block is, whatever past hurt or whatever it is, she's going to have to get past that. But I'm not going to let it stop me anymore. And I'm sure I'm going to be criticized for this, but I believe in my heart, in the bottom of my heart, that through this obedience, through me choosing God, that God is going to truly reveal Himself to my wife, and that my wife will come around, and that my wife will know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that this is God, and be willing to dedicate her time and effort, and something she battles with, which God calls every Christian to do, and that is to lay down your life for the cause of Christ, so that you can tell everybody that God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, and whosoever believeth in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. God gave us that gift so we can share it with others, so we can know Him, so we could commune with Him. That was His whole purpose, because we fell in sin. We fell, and it separated us. Our disobedience separated us. Just like it does, separated us from God's blessing. It's just like if a child today leaves his parents' home, he leaves the covering. He leaves the blessing. because he's on his own. He's not a recipient. But God made a way for us to come back, be forgiven, and come to him clean and boldly before the throne. So, anyways, I'm going to Virginia end of this month, whether God gets a hold of Faith and changes her mind or not. Hopefully he does. If he doesn't, then I assume that she'll be right behind me not long. But I know that this house is probably going to sell, maybe. I know, probably, maybe. Sometime it's going to. Unless the Lord actually doesn't want me to sell it. But I'm willing to let it go and everything else so that I can obey God. And I believe that God will give me whatever I need to be biblically, vindicated, I guess, by way of me going down there and having enough money to help my wife and kids back here. However much the Bible says I'm responsible to do. Because if this ain't God, then there's certain things that won't take place. But I believe it is God. And I believe we're going to see God move in my wife's life. But I'm not going to fight with her no more. Because that's all we do. We fight. Because I want to follow God and she wants to do whatever she wants to do. It's unclear because I don't even think she knows. So, signing off with my Einstein hair. Matthew Bradshaw, future President of the United States in the year 2020. And for those who are into numbers and studying numbers, the Lord told me I have 6 years of preparation. During that 6th year, I will be the age 33. It's pretty interesting. And then the Lord told me there's going to be a year of rest. And then I'll turn 35. And then I'll be elected president.